All right, let's try this again. We are talking about choosing units of measurement. Students should become familiar with common units of measurement. If I'm measuring how long something is, I would use, let's see, if we're measuring how long something is, we're measuring the, so write length and circle it. If you're measuring how long something is, you might measure it in inches, feet, yards, centimeters, or meters. Now we're going to talk about the difference between inches and centimeters in a moment. But it's just important for right now, for today, that y'all know that when I have a ruler to measure length, that on one side is the inch side. It's about the length of, from my one little segment of my finger here from this line to the nail is about 1 inch. And the other side is centimeters. We'll talk more about that in a moment. All right, so read with me. How would we measure length? Inches, feet, yards, centimeters, meters. If I was choosing an insect, I meant measuring. If I was measuring an insect, I would choose to use centimeters because that is the smallest unit of measurement and insects are small. All right. Would it make sense to use a meter stick? I have a meter stick in here somewhere. Let's see if I can pull up my meter stick.
I remember you having some over there.
Yeah, under that little table, under the welcome sign.
Under the welcome sign.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I've been looking for this.
It's been there ever since we started this class.
Yeah, well, my eyes are a little bit higher up than y'all's are.
That is
Alright, I know if you're watching this video, you cannot tell just how long this meter stick is, but just trust me. This thing is 1 meter, which we're going to talk more about this week, but think about it. If you're going to measure a bug, are you going to measure in centimeters or meters? If this is a meter stick, 1 stick of this is a meter. Are you going to measure with a meter stick or centimeters? Centimeters, because those are small units of measurement.
Yeah.
All right. If I'm measuring how heavy something is, we're measuring the what? The weight. We talked about 8 is one of our spelling words. E-I-G-H says A. Weight is how much it weighs. You might measure in, hey, I need everybody to write this word weight. Everybody, and circle it. You might measure in pounds or kilograms. All right, and we'll talk about the difference between pounds and kilograms in a moment. Right now, it's really important that you know that pounds and kilograms measure what? Weight. All right. I could say, I also want to add one more in here. I'm going to add one more. Grams. Because this is about the weight of a gram, this popsicle stick. If I had 1,000 of these, it would be a kilogram. We'll talk more about that in a moment. All right. This coffee cup, hello coffee cup, is about 2 pounds. We'll say 2 pounds. All right. It's actually a big coffee mug. I don't know if you can tell in the video. It's big. It's 2 pounds. Your water bottle right now is about, anywhere from 1 pound to maybe 5 pounds at most, but doubtful. It's probably about 1 pound if you've got one of those little plastic ones.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I'll tell you, I am about, which is like rounding, right? About, not an exact number. I'm about 150 pounds. Okay? All right. That is how we measure weight. If I was measuring the weight of a bin of strawberries, would you choose pounds or kilograms? Pounds or kilograms? My class, pounds or kilograms? Pounds, because 1,000 of these would actually be pretty heavy. All right, if I'm measuring liquid, do I have everyone's focus?
Yes.
That is measuring capacity. I want you to write this word capacity. It's also called volume when you're measuring liquids. We're going to call it, for the sake of today's lesson, capacity. Write that word and circle it. To measure, and you probably have, if you guys have ever looked at a recipe, you've probably seen this before. Cups, pints, quarts, gallons, liters, all measure capacity. You've probably seen, I need your focus. You've probably seen liters and gallons at the grocery store, haven't you?
Yes.
Milk is often measured in a gallon.
Like at Walmart.
Like at Walmart. You might see a bottle of Coca-Cola or a bottle of Sprite measured in liters. You know, a regular size bottle of Sprite that's about this big, this tall, is about 2 liters. Does that help?
Wait, what if it's like half of
If I was measuring, we'll get there. I promise. We'll have a day all about capacity. If I was measuring the milk from a big jug, I would choose to use gallons because it is a larger unit of measurement. Now, if you're going to use cups, you will be sitting there for a while, just pouring them in. Oh, that's not enough to make it, that's not enough. Gallon is a pretty accurate use of measurement for this jug of milk. All right, guys, look at the bottom of this page. It says, write what unit you would use to measure next to each picture. So let's look. Let me open up my answer key.
I would definitely use
All right. I'm going to call popsicle sticks, but stop that or I'll have to take it away. Thank you. I'm going to let y'all talk with your row, but I'm going to pick popsicle sticks. If you're measuring, it says how heavy on the sign. It's a truck. Looks like an ice cream truck or no, excuse me, it says barbecue on it. Goodness, Miss Elkins, look at your clues. What do you think from this page we might use to measure this truck? All right. Talk with your row. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's enough. Maddie H., what are you going to use to measure this truck? Pounds. In fact, we could also use pounds. I'm going to write this. You guys are writing it too. Pounds. Remember, P, letter P is one of those basement letters. Pounds or what? Or kilograms. Those both measure heavy things. Pounds or kilograms. Write it quick. Quick. Look at me when you're ready. Thank you. Hi. Hello. Oh my. She got her eyes wide open. Guys, look at this road. How might we measure the distance of a road? All right, let's say like my house to your house. 5, 4, talk amongst yourselves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, popsicle stick says McKinley.
meter.
I would too. I agree. Meters.
maybe even yours.
No, let's not do yards, but there is something that is longer than a yard that you don't even see on this sheet. It's not in my answer key, but I'll go ahead and tell y'all because y'all are special. Meters or miles. This is the metric version. This is the U.S. standard version. We're going to get to that in a moment. All right. Oh, a fish tank. This fish tank looks bigger than our fish tank, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does.
All right. How are you going to measure the capacity in this fish tank? Discuss. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mason. Capacity. I want to know how much liquid is in it. I would use gallons. I agree. G is another letter that goes down into the basement below the line. LL, those are tall letters, gallons. Spell, and then we're going to move on to this little turtle friend. How are we going to measure the shell of our little turtle friend? How its length? You may discuss in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's enough. Discuss with each other what you think. Milan, you could, I mean, this is about the length of this is exactly the length of 1 foot because it's 12 inches. But I think you're only going to get one of these for a turtle shell. I think if we want to get even closer to an answer, let's do inches. Hold that thought. Thank you, sweetie.
And if it's a really small turtle, then centimeters.
Let's focus on inches for right now.
What if it was a giant turtle?
Hold that thought. I got to move on for time. We've already got 10 minutes in this video. It's just getting longer. I know it. I know it. All right. We've got a cup of what looks like milk or a milkshake, or I hope it's coffee in here. How are we going to measure the liquid in this glass? Discuss. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maddie C's not here. Ben, how are you going to measure in this glass the capacity? The capacity. Here are your options. I'll accept one of two answers. Ooh, I like that. You could use a cup.
Like a coffee cup.
Yeah, well, I'd say a cup is about this much. If we filled up this container and it didn't have holes, this is about the size of a cup. In fact, when we get to that lesson, I have the exact measuring cups to show you how much each is worth. And we'll be pouring it, and it'll all be good. It'll be fun. All right, stop. Thank you. All right, no, I think a gallon is too much for this. Don't y'all agree?
Yeah.
But you could measure it in pints. So I'll accept, and I want you to write both, cup or pint.
That looks like
It's pint. I know it looks like that, but we have the long I sound for the pint.
Y-S-O-N-E.
Uh-huh. All right, guys, we have a few more, and then we're done with this sheet, all right? This is a tea kettle. How many of you guys have ever seen anything like this? Yes, I see some hands.
I have one.
How would you measure the capacity inside a tea kettle? 5, 4, capacity. Look at the list for capacity. 3, 2, 1. Cadence. How might you measure the capacity of a tea kettle? Your list here says cup, pint, quart, gallon, liter. Quart, I like that. In fact, I'll even accept liter. Quart or liter. Because remember, that soda bottle you see at the store, that's 2 liters. The big soda bottle. So one of those would be or half of that would be 1 liter.
A 2 liter.
A 2 liter, yeah. But half of that is just 1 liter. We might use that to measure what's inside of a tea kettle. All right. Oh, here's a little boy. And next to him it says, how heavy? How are we going to measure the weight of the little boy? Discuss. 5, 4, 3. Discuss. 2, 1. All right. That's enough. Landon, how are we going to measure the little boy? How heavy? What's his weight? We're going to measure in what? We can measure in pounds, yes, or kilograms. I want you guys to write down both. They both are a good weight for measuring the little boy. Pounds or kilograms. The last thing we're left with is sidewalk. Can I pick up the sidewalk? Can I see how much of it will fit into a milk jug? No, that's silly because it's neither a liquid nor can I pick it up to weigh it. What I can do is measure its length. All right, so how are we going to measure how long this stretch of sidewalk is? 5,
Feet.
4,
Feet.
3, 2, 1. Lydia.
Feet.
We could use feet. I like, even better, I like yards. So write feet or yards. Because yards, I'll tell you, yards, it's close to this length. So I guess we should also add meters too.
Wait, we said feet. Feet or meter.
Yeah, feet isn't even on my answer key. It just says yards, but I think we could include it if it's a short stretch of sidewalk. I like best yards and meters. That's what I like best. How do you spell meter?
The time is coming up. It's on the paper.
Yeah, it's on here. Meters, M-E-T-E-R-S. If I do this, does that help? All right. Before I end this video, I know it's super long and I thank you for your patience. I want to flip over to the back to ask y'all some questions that are really important to it's not on your back, it's on my back. Well, it's not on my back. It's on the back of the paper. It says, here's some questions you need to ask yourself. Did I start at the 0 line? When you measure, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a kindergartner go, okay, let me measure this sticky note. I'm going to start at the 1. Oh, 1 and 1 to 3. That's 3 inches. Is it 3 inches? No, you always start at the what?
0.
Start right at the 0 line. Once you've done that, check. Am I using length, weight, or capacity to measure? You got to ask yourself. We have already done this sheet. Are you measuring the length of an object, the weight of an object, or the capacity? When you've decided, check. Am I using customary or metric units to measure? Now here's where, this is why you have inches on one side of a ruler and centimeters on the other side. Now there are countries all over the world that use what is called the metric system. Can you say metric? Can you say system? Now say metric system. Now in the metric system, you have got, let me see, how can I say this real quick? You've got centimeters, meters, you've got grams, kilograms. America only uses the metric system in science and math. Everything else, we're used to using we're used to using what's called the customary system. Can you say customary? Can you say system? Customary system. That is what we are used to using for inches, for using feet, yards, and miles. You need to become familiar with both systems, metric system and customary system. You also need to know that if an inch, check. If an inch is this long, from here to here, right? Half of an inch is right between 0 and 1. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Which means that halfway between half, those are quarters. Just like, everyone sit up and watch. This is just like fractions on a number line. Do y'all remember when we did fractions on a number line?
Yes.
If this is 0 to 1 whole, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps, that's like splitting these into fourths. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and we also call fourths what?
1/4.
Quarters. Which is why, get out of your desk please, I need your focus. Which is why a quarter of an inch is 1/4 of an inch. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to end recording.